Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina wa habibina wa syafina maulana wa Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain, amma ba'du. My name is Muhammad Dafa Huzaifah from class XI-IPS, and I'm gonna tell you about the drugs. A drug is a chemical substance that causes a change in an organism's physiology or psychology when consumed. Drugs are typically distinguished from food and substances that provide a nutritional support. Consumption of drugs can be via inhalation, injection, smoking, ingestion, absorption via a patch of the skin, suppository, or dissolution under the tongue. Well, I have to tell you about the uses of drugs. A term of drugs is very connected with a compound that gives the effect of addiction from users. Dangers of drugs not only impact on physical, but it interferes mental or souls of the drug addicts. Hence, dealers and drug users must be eradicated. For the added danger of drugs do not only emerge physical problems, but mental disorders will also appear. Actually, these drug psychotropic compounds are commonly used in a doctor or hospital to anesthetize patients who want to surgery or as a remedy for a particular disease. But this perception is wrongly defined and used out of its function, and with a dose of that out of the profession. If it is misused, dangers of drugs can affect the arrangement of the neurons, resulting addiction and dependence. Moreover, the impact of mental, emotional, and spiritual will also appear. There are many impacts of drug misuse, which will appear. The first is physical impact. The body biological adaptation will happen against drug use for long periods of time, especially with drugs which are in the group of downer. Even our body can be changed so much until our body cells and organs become dependent on the drugs to be functional normally. But if the use of drugs is stopped, it will change all the arrangement and balance of the body chemical. There may be an excess of the type of certain neuron, enzyme, and lack of transmission. Suddenly, our body tries to restore the balance. Besides, the dependence of body cells with vital organs such as liver, the heart, the lungs, the kidney, and the brain also suffer damage due to long-term use of drugs. A lot of drug addicts end with leaky heart valve, the lungs that is hollow, kidney illness, as well as damaged liver. Moreover, physical damage that appears due to a viral infection, hepatitis C, and HIV and AIDS. Second is mental impact. The mental impacts are more difficult to recuperate than physical impact. The suggestion is the dependence of mental in the form of the emergence of the desire to get back taking drugs. This suggestion will not be lost when the body functions normally. There is emotion impact. Addiction of drugs makes one lose control of his emotion, and it often acts impulsively, follow the urge of any emotion that arises in him. The addict is often fooled by a feeling of guilt, feeling useless, and deep depression, which often make him think to commit suicide. Fourth is spiritual impact. An addict will make drugs as the main priority in his life. Drug is the center of his life. There is nothing more important than drugs. Drugs become far more important than a wife, the husband, a girlfriend, children, parents, the school, the work, each other. He stopped doing the usual activities he did before. He drowned in the misuse of drugs. He no longer does his hobbies, routine activities such as school, college, or work as usual. If he previously was diligent in praying, he will be away from this activity. Based on those arguments, we know many bad impact of drugs misuse. It is very dangerous for us, and we have to eradicate him. That's the only explanation about drugs. Thank you for listening to this topic. I apologize for any mistakes. Thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.